Knitty Natty. We are going to be talking about the cozy along today. I have so many cozies to show you. Toaster is here with me today. This is a live video, so I'm going to give it a second for everyone to come in and come on. If you are coming in, will you, let me know if you can hear me, okay? I've got a microphone set up today. I tested it, but that doesn't always mean that it works perfectly. So please just let me know. I think it just came live. Perfect. So as you're coming in, hi, welcome. Let me know where you're watching from today. We're going to be talking about the cozy along. I'm going to be sharing with you all the details about this month. And I'm also going to show you so many cozy samples, and I'm going to show you some of our prizes today. I just got back in from Tennessee last night, and so this is like kind of the first thing I'm doing today. So this is kind of the only thing I'm doing today. I'm like, we're gonna have an easy day getting back into things. Okay, let's see. I'm guessing everyone can hear me. Perfect. So glad that you can hear me okay. All right, where is everyone coming in from today? Northern California, Finland, hi from Florida. Hi everybody, Central Kentucky, Amsterdam. It's so fun to have people joining us from all over. Trinidad, oh my gosh, so cool. Hi from Ohio. So I'm not in the center, am I? That's kind of, whatever. We're not gonna be super centered. We've had crazy weather here already today. It was raining really hard, super, super windy, and now it's really quite sunny and cloudy. So what's the weather like where you are today? It was kind of a shock to come back into the Northeast and it be like in the 50s and stuff after being in Tennessee for about 10 days. So I think I'm ready for it to finally warm up. Hey from New Zealand, oh my gosh, hi. Yeah, rainy. I think it's raining in a lot of places right now. Okay, let's dive into some cozy along stuff. So first I just want to give a quick rundown on how to participate. The only place that I've posted this is on Instagram right now. I've also put the rules down in the description box here. I'm working on my website right now, so I don't know if I will have a web page ready by the time the cozy along ends. So Instagram and here in this YouTube video might be the only two places for written instructions on how to participate. So bear with me, but it's really easy to participate in the cozy along. Let me pull up what I've got here. So to participate, you just need to knit or crochet any of my cozy patterns. It does have to be one of the Love and Stitches Knitty Natty cozy patterns. I'm going to show all of them here in just a little bit. There are knit ones, there are crochet ones, there are ones for yarn, and there are ones for bottles and cans. So I have quite a variety to choose from. You can participate even if you started cozy before May 1st. So our dates are May 1st, which was yesterday, to May 31st, which is a Wednesday. So as long as you're working on a cozy from me sometime in those dates, you have participated and you are good. To enter for prizes, we're gonna have two different areas. So you can post on Instagram with the official hashtag, which is hashtag CozyAlong2023. It needs to be exactly that. And you also need to make sure to post on your Instagram feed, which means not to your Instagram stories, although we'll get back to that, but in your Instagram feed where it's gonna stay there. So whether it's a photo or a reel, as long as it has Cozy Along 2023 in that hashtag, I'll be able to find it. What I do at the end is I search for that hashtag and then I just go through all the posts and I do a random selection from those posts. So if your Instagram is not public, it will not show up there. So public Instagram and the hashtag 2023. If you're posting on Instagram, you can post a whip photo or a finished object photo and you can post as many times as you want. But I have one other way to get prizes, and that is finishing cozies. So if you finish a cozy within May 1st to May 31st, you can also enter into the finished cozy form. It's a Google form. I have it linked down below. I have it linked in my Instagram bio. I'll probably be posting it in my Instagram stories every once in a while. But once you finish a cozy, again, even if you started it before May 1st, you can go there and fill out the form. It's really quick and easy. It's basically your basic info, either a project photo or a Ravelry project page link, and then like a couple of basic things about you, and you're entered. So every time you finish a cozy, you can enter that. I know somebody who has a goal to make 1 cozy per day. So that person, if they have 30 finished cozies, they need to enter for each individual cozy to enter to win a prize. That form is going to close the day after we end our, the day after, so you have like a little extra time to submit it. So it will close, I think it's June 1st, Thursday, June 1st at noon Eastern time. That's it. So basically, just be working on one of my cozy patterns. If you finish it, you can also enter as onto the Google form. I'm going to be showing some of the prizes here in just a little bit, but I want to go back to posting on Instagram. Even though only like static feed posts are going to count towards the prizes, I definitely want you to post in your stories and tag me so that I can share in my stories, because it's so fun to see the creativity that goes into the cozies. I already have several different versions within the patterns, but then I'll see people do things like a little bit different. Yesterday, I saw somebody make one of the yarn cozies. I think it was maybe a 50-gram knitted one, and they just used like little tiny scraps. So it was stripy. This is a self-striping yarn, but it was stripy, but it was like 4 colors, and they just used up little tiny bits of things. And I thought that was really smart and really fun. Okay, I want to show you some of the different patterns. But first, let me check in here in the chat. I'm gonna be probably not monitoring the chat super duper well while I'm trying to share all the different information. So just bear with me. If you have a question, you can ask it again if I don't see it the first time. Let's see. Can I put all my cozies in one single Ravelry project page? Yes, you definitely can. Whenever you enter the form, you'll just link the same project page. Maybe have like a photo of each of them just so I can like verify that you made different cozies. Okay, let's see. Are you wearing something cozy while talking about a cozy Mal? Clever. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yes, I'm wearing my Something Cozy by Shayna Billow. This pattern was free, I think, over the weekend. I'm not sure if it's free anymore, but even if it's not, it's so worth it. It's such a great pattern. I love this. I'm getting a little hot because I had to turn off the air conditioning in here, but worth it. Worth it to be cozy. Let's see. Oh, my patterns are not in Tunisian crochet. So just remember, if you want to participate for prizes, it does need to be my pattern. If you're just like, I don't care, I don't want to do prizes, then do whatever you want. But for the make along, officially, it needs to be one of the Love and Stitches patterns. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the cozies. I actually want to start with the drink ones because I feel like they don't get the attention that they deserve, and they're so much fun, and they make great gifts. So if you want to start like making gifts for the holidays or gifts for birthdays or just using up your leftovers, these are the perfect thing to do. Chantel just asked, I see the recommended contrast I-cord uses 5 grams. How many grams did you use? I'm trying to use up all my yarn. So I only recently started adding the contrast I-cord to the patterns and keeping track of how much, so I can only tell you for sure for the most recent pattern, and that is the crochet ones. So for this contrast I-cord, for the 20-gram crochet, it uses like 2 grams. It's nothing. But I am recommending 5 just so you have a little bit extra. The other ones I don't actually know for sure. Like this one I'm not for sure, but I know it uses less than 5. So what I would do is, if you have a scale, I would weigh your yarn and then make your contrast I-cord and then weigh it again and see how much yarn that you use personally. Everyone's gonna be a little bit different. Okay, so let's talk about these drink cozies. So there's 3 different drink cozies, and each one comes with instructions to make it classic or self-striping. And the drink cozies only come in the knitted versions. You can purchase them individually for $6, or you can get all three together for $12, which gets you one pattern free. And I have all the links to the patterns down below. So the cozy that started it all and like started my cozy obsession is this one. No, wait. You know what? Actually, I don't remember. I think, was it the can or was it the bottle? Now I can't remember. Hold on, wait, we have to find out. So anyone who is a designer, I hope maybe will relate to this, but I feel like other people who make your patterns know them better than you. Like, I feel like when you're designing, you just like make and then move on, and then you don't remember things. So like if somebody asks you a question about your pattern, you have to look at your pattern. Is that relatable for anyone else? I feel like I kind of sound stupid sometimes when I don't know what's going on in my own patterns, but it's because I've done so many things since then. Okay, I was correct. This is the very first one that started it all. I'm still like, when did I do the can one? Okay, got it. So I published this one in September of 2018 as part of a like sports collection. The whole idea was to create things you could make for sports lovers in your team colors that wasn't super like gaudy. That was going to be kind of classic and nice looking and not just like crazy colors or whatever. So I thought a cozy would be perfect because it's something small, it's something you can do with leftovers, you can make a whole set of them if you want, and that's how we came up with this cozy. The first one I made is actually this one, so a little more sport-like, and this was for kind of Dallas Stars colors, Oregon. My husband likes Oregon, so it's really, really fun. The cozies are knit from the bottom up, and when you make the bottle cozy, it creates a coaster for you, which is actually really nice. And you need the bottom because when you're holding the cozies, sometimes they like stretch a little bit and it needs to stay on or else it will just pop off of the top. When you make the bottle cozy, when you use it, make sure to put the cozy on before you open your bottle or it's going to be really hard to do because it does have shaping here at the top that draws it in, and so it can be a little snug getting on. So don't open up the bottle until you put the cozy on, but then you're good. So these are really fun. So again, you can make them with just little leftovers. The details on how much yarn all of these use are in the project pages, like description pages, but they don't use much. Like everything I'm pretty sure uses 30 grams or less. I may be wrong on that for the bottle cozies. Let's see. 15 grams in the main color and 15 grams in the main color and 5 grams for the contrast, or just 20 grams overall if you're doing one of the like self-striping versions. So really, really fun. I also really like using self-striping for all of these cozies because I feel like self-striping yarn is hard to put into another scrappy project because it looks different from the solid yarns. But in a cozy, it looks meant to be, right? And then you get to use your favorite yarns over and over again. So this one's really fun. This is the one I use most of the time. This is the one that I made originally to be sport team like. And they're really great. Again, the built-in coaster is a plus. These are really awesome. And the self-striping one I think looks really, really fun too. Super fun. So the bottle cozy comes with these two versions because it tells you how many inches to do in between the stripes and all of that. But of course you can like play with things and do things differently however you want. Let's see, I'm gonna put this back on here. Okay, then next up is the can cozy. This is probably the one I use the most because I love sparkling water. So I use this one all the time and I love the fun colors. Again, it has sporty stripes, but you can see if you use a different colors, it doesn't look sporty at all. So it's really, really fun. I've also done this one in self-striping. This is such a great gift for people. Like if you have sports teams colors, they're super, super fun. Or if you have like whole skein of self-striping yarn, you could probably make a set of maybe 4 or 5 of these, which could be really cute. So you can see like how it kind of like stretches with the weight. That's why it needs the bottom, it holds it on, but again, it's a coaster. And they're just short enough so that you're not like eating yarn when you're drinking out of your cozy. So super, super fun. I love these. And then of course, if you wanted to make them for the like taller cans that are still the same width around as a 12-ounce can, you could just use more yarn and keep going taller. So these are really fun and easy to kind of customize. So that's the can cozy. And then there's one more. There was like a summer where the seltzer drinks just went off, and I thought we have to have something for our seltzers, but I also think a lot of sparkling water comes in these taller cans. So this is the skinny can cozy. It is not the same, you can't really tell from here, but these are a little bit smaller around than like 12-ounce cans. So a little bit different of a pattern. You can see how fun this looks in the self-striping. Isn't it so fun? Hold on, let me make sure everything's still going okay. Okay, perfect. So just another version, skinny can cozy. I've got a couple of these. I really liked doing self-striping with this one in particular because you can get through all of the colors, which is really fun. This might have been my first one that was a little short. But look how fun like this one is. Love this one. That's a mustache yarn. So if you had little bits of colors and little bits of yarn, like you make a cozy and then you have 2 grams left or 3 grams, you could do something just like this. And then of course it comes sporty, but I didn't do sports colors because I wanted to do fun colors with my little stripes. So that's the skinny can cozy. So all 3 of the bottle or beverage cozies come as one bundle for $12 if you like all 3 of them and want to get all 3 of them. Okay, let me check in again on everybody. Oh, I see somebody say that they could be great bridesmaids and groomsmen's gifts. That would be really, really fun. I love that. Okay, hold on, I'm looking for questions so I can make sure. Megan said, I'm making bottle and can cozies in my wedding colors. Oh, that's so fun. You can use them on the wedding night. Oh my gosh, I gotta see a picture of that. That is super cool. Okay, yeah, cozies with self-striping is so fun. Julie said you could do color work and make fancy ones. Oh, you definitely could. That would be great. Oh, Toaster looks like one of those little like felty dogs that's just curled up in the background. So cute. Okay, so my obsession with cozies needed to go somewhere. Like I still have so many ideas for cozies, I can't even tell you. I get asked pretty often when the heavier weight versions of the cozies are going to be coming out. So I do have plans to make the yarn cozies in DK weight sometime, eventually. It's coming soon. But for now, all of the cozies are knit out of fingering weight. That seems to be the yarn that I have leftovers with the most. So I find that these are a really great way to use up leftovers, especially if I have a yarn that I love and I don't want to see it just blended in with another scrappy project where I don't get to see and enjoy it. So I really love the opportunity to make something that is practical and I get to use almost every single day. So we're gonna go onto the yarn cozies here in just a second. Let me see, what did Sarah ask? Can you make the can one longer so it fits a water bottle? I think you can. I have seen some people do that before. I would say it's probably about the same as the bottom of a water bottle. Maybe you could even add in your own shaping if you wanted to. That's probably going to work. I think the skinny one is too small for a regular water bottle, but definitely try it out. Okay, let's get into the yarn cozies. So the yarn cozy started out with the yarn cozy light, which I know makes it seem like there's a yarn cozy not light, and there will be eventually. In a DK weight. Hold on. I had a scratch in my throat. So let's start with that one. So the yarn cozies come with 3 different versions. The knitted ones do. The crochet ones have 2 different versions within the pattern. Actually, that's not true. Some of them have more than that if it's different sizes. Ooh, it's getting spooky outside again. The clouds are, can you tell it's like darker in here? Like the clouds are just coming across. It's gonna be a good day to hang out and knit after this. So the original Yarn Cozy Light is made for a 100-gram cake, and I will say it works best with a ball winder wound cake. I haven't experienced this as much or experimented with hand wound cakes because I only just learned how to do it. My hand wound cakes are like flatter and wider than my ball winder wound cakes. So the Cozy is designed around a ball winder wound cake, just FYI. So this one is the cabled version. So you can see there's little cables in between the rib. It also starts very similarly to the beverage cozies, so it has that bottom so that it doesn't slip off. I actually have a DK weight yarn in here. So these 100-gram size Yarn Cozy Lights can handle a DK weight cake of yarn. It stretches them a bit. I want to say that this DK weight is, I maybe used a little bit of it. It's maybe 75 grams, but you can see there's still lots of room in here. So with a little stretch, and they should be tight, you can get DK weight yarn in here as well. For me, that's pretty much all of the different yarn weights I use. I know there's a lot of people out there that use bigger skeins and bigger yarn weights, so this is what we've got right now. So you can get in one pattern the Yarn Cozy Light, the cabled. There's also just a really simple, what am I doing here? You know what, I didn't grab a self-striping one, but, oh yeah, this is definitely a smaller yarn. There's usually not this much room left over, but just a plain and simple, nice little ribby one. Usually if it's a full cake, there it would be stretched a little bit more. And then there's also a self-striping version, which I realized I didn't grab one. I actually have a lot of these in use right now, and so they don't have like full cakes in them or anything, so I wasn't able to do that. Do you want to see outside? It's absolutely nuts right now. Look. I don't want to like make you dizzy, but this is what we're dealing with. It's like we're just all of a sudden in a cloud. It's crazy. Okay. Let's come back around slowly though so we don't get too dizzy. Look away if it makes you dizzy. Okay. Toaster's like, what are you doing? You're crazy. So Yarn Cozy Light, 3 versions. It's for 100-gram cakes of DK weight or fingering weight, plain and simple, cabled, and self-striping. The reason I keep saying self-striping, because you're probably wondering like, well, why do you have to do something different with the self-striping? I talk in the pattern about how to manage the stripes in the yarn. You know what? Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find one of the self-striping ones that's not, I don't think I have one. Some of my cozies are also on Sock Week yarns, and I can't show you those for 2 weeks. You're gonna see them soon. It's gonna be so exciting. Where is my self-striping one? The fun thing is you can still hear me even when I walk away, right? Hold on, let me see if it's in this bag. I think I might have found it. Yay, I did. Although it's on a Sock Week yarn, so I can't show you that. Okay, I'm back. If anyone came in just now and you're like, where'd she go? I'm here, don't worry. So let me get it off of this yarn. Don't look, it's sock week yarn. Okay. The self-striping version, you need to do a little bit of yarn management, and you do a little something in between the stripes so that you don't see that kind of, I think, kind of unattractive color change at the purl. So here we go. That's a self-striping one, it's so fun. And so yeah, I try to make it so that I can bind off and do the I-cord in one stripe, so I talk about that in the pattern. Okay, so that's all of the Yarn Cozy Light in the knitted version. So let's talk about the crochet version. In the crochet version, there are two different ones within the pattern. There's just a plain and simple one that is single crochets, and then a ribbed one, which is post stitches. This one's a little more advanced. This one is quite a lot simpler. With the crochet one, because I feel like this is more common in crochet, I have a full tutorial that's a video tutorial that you get when you purchase the pattern. So it's in the pattern, I walk you through all of the different stages of the pattern in that one. I don't do that with the knitted one, but I do have a couple of tutorials that go over some of the harder techniques like the I-cord and the twist stitch and stuff like that. So for the crochet one, let me show you. I don't know, I love crochet and fingering weight. I know that's for some crocheters, this is like the first time they've used a fingering weight, but isn't it so beautiful? So it starts at the bottom, you increase, then you turn, and then this I-cord is actually a crochet I-cord, and I say that in quotes because it is crocheted, it is different from the knitted one, but it ends up looking exactly the same, and you do need a knitting needle in order to do it. So you have to two-hand things, but I have a tutorial on that too. That tutorial, if you just want to know how to do that, is public here on the Knitty Natty channel. So it's really fun. So there's this version, plain and simple, and then there, oh, and here I have another one. I really like how this one came out. Look how fun this yarn is. This is a really special yarn because it's called, I think it's called Music Row, and I used it for some socks for myself, and then I made some socks for my brother, and then I wanted to see the yarn all the time, so I made a cozy, and now I can use it all of the time. And now that I have so many cozies, I like to sort of match the mood of my project. So if I have like fun yarn, I'll use something like this. If I have something like softer, use something like this. Oh, and you can do contrast I-cord or not, really fun. So then there's the ribbed version, which is nice and snug on these. Kind of gotta like force it in, but I mean, it really snugs up. This is like, I tried self-striping yarn and crochet in single crochet. Like, look how beautiful that is. I don't think I did it justice on this, on the ribbed, but it is kind of cool looking. So in the self-striping, I would maybe stick with this version. I don't know, that's just my preference. But what's so great about these yarn cozies is that they really hold on to your yarn like to the end. When you have those last little bits, like it's just still in there. I think it's a little bit just because of the texture of the yarn, it just holds on to things. It's great. I think they function so well. Oh, this is the 100-gram ribbed version. You can see that. I'll take this out of here. You can see it so much better in a kind of semi-solid. Here we go. So fun. And I do cover how to do the post stitches in the tutorial video that comes with the pattern. It's not available to the public, but it is available when you purchase the pattern. Okay, so those are the two 100-gram versions. And then I also have the mini yarn cozies. So the mini yarn cozies also come with those different self-striping and the cables and the rib, but they also come with two sizes. So let's discuss those real quick. I know I'm chatty about these. Am I missing any? Is it okay to knit the pattern without the I-cord? I don't think I would, because it gives it a finished look, and it also helps to kind of ground everything. I would say that The canned cozies, the beverage cozies might be okay. But the knitted versions, I don't know. I feel like it needs that finished edge. Oh, I have these ones back here. I didn't even realize that. Here's another one. I feel like it just gives it that finished edge, and because the I-cord is not quite as stretchy, it helps hold everything in. So tell me what you don't want to do, like why you don't want to do the I-cord. Is it because you've had a bad experience with I-cords? Is it because you just don't like doing it? I know it takes a little longer, but tell me you don't find it so worth an I-cord bind off once it's actually finished. It's so great. Let's see. Can't say enough positive about the knitted yarn cozies. Thank you, Anne. Let me see. All right, I'm looking for questions. Again, just ask your questions again if I've missed them, and I apologize. Do you sell your patterns anywhere other than Ravelry? I do have some on Etsy, but that's not, I'll tell you why I don't like really having them anywhere other than Ravelry. On Sunday, when I was getting my new pattern all ready to add to everything, I made a couple of updates to some of the past versions of my cozies. And on Ravelry, I'm able to go and change out the PDF, which I guess I can do that on Etsy too. But I was also able to send a notice to everyone who had purchased that pattern in the past, telling them exactly what was different about the new version. And then Ravelry will actually tell you the next time you go to download the pattern that you need to update it, that there's a new version. And that is just not as accessible on Etsy. So some of my cozies, yes, are available on Etsy, but not the newest ones. The mini crochet yarn cozy is not on there. And I can't say exactly when it will be on there yet. I guess I probably should do that. That's probably something I just need to do, right? Okay. Who was asking about the I-cord? Hold on. Oh, and the bundles are not on Etsy because Ravelry, again, makes it just very easy from a designer's perspective to show you all the options that you have when you purchase. You can purchase as a single pattern, you can purchase as a discounted bundle or this other discounted bundle. And so it's set up for pattern sales. Okay, let me see. I crochet, I don't knit. I'm not sure using double pointed needles for the crochet versions. So it is, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's awkward at first when you start that crochet I-cord, but it gets a little bit easier. Probably not on your very first one, it's still gonna feel awkward, but I've got a full tutorial. I also have, for my crochet things, I have right and left-handed tutorials. And for my knitted ones, I try to show holding the yarn in my right hand, holding the yarn in my left hand, not left-handed knitting, but holding the yarns different ways because I just think that helps so much. So I got you, we can do it together. I know it's like not the easiest, but it's also easier, I think, than you are probably imagining. Okay. Alex said, I used the backside of a smaller hook instead of a double pointed needle. Yeah, and because you only need that secondary instrument, secondary tool for 4 stitches, you could really use other things. Like you don't need to go out and purchase new needles just to do the bind off. Okay, I see somebody asked, can I knit these using a 9-inch circular needle? So I believe you can on the 100 gram knit versions, but you can't when you start. See how small, how few stitches that is? You have to have something else. My preference is magic loop, which is a long circular needle, and then you can just use it for the entire thing. You could also use double pointed needles to start, but you're not going to be able to start on a 9-inch with the beginning of that. So if 9-inch is your preference, kind of like a sock, you know how you have to have something else for certain areas of the sock, like the toe or the cast on, you could do that for just the first part and then carry on. For these smaller ones I'm about to show you, the 9-inch will not work. So let's go to the knitted mini yarn cozy. So the mini yarn cozies come with a 50 gram and a 20 gram size in one pattern. It also has, for the knitted ones, the plain and simple, the self-striping, and the cabled version. So these are the 20-gram ones. I had a rainbow pack. I don't have all of them here because some of them are in use right now, but I had a rainbow pack of 20-gram skeins, and so I made a bunch of 20-gram cozies. Isn't that fun? So here's the faux cables, and then this one's just like the plain and simple ones. They're constructed really similarly, but of course with that size in mind. So let me show you what they look like. I got a 20-gram skein right here. Hold on. This cake of yarn has been through it, I tell you. Look at this. It's been in and out of Cozies for weeks. Okay, let's put it in this fun color. I like this one. All right, it's a little lumpy because he's a little crazy, but that's what the 20-gram one looks like. I know some people like to cake their 20-gram skeins, so these are really fun for, you know, the contrast colors that come with sock sets, or for mini packs, or for advents. They're really, really fun. And again, they hold on to it till the very end. They're fantastic. Do I have a stripy 20-gram? I don't know if I have a self-striping 20-gram. I'm not sure I do. So then the mini yarn cozy also comes with the 50-gram size. Now, if you purchase the 50-gram size on Ravelry, check for an update because I made a little change. So see these guys? These are fun to make as a set, by the way. If you like to knit socks and divide your yarns into 50-gram cakes, you can make a set to go together. I like to make them slightly different. So this one's plain and simple. This one is cabled so that I can tell the difference between like sock 1 and sock 2. Easier than just looking at it. So there's that. So you can kind of tell, or maybe you can't tell, but these are kind of small. They're kind of short. And I realized after using them that they needed a little more length in the 50-gram size. So this one I knit just a ½ inch longer, and it's so much better. So on Ravelry on Sunday, I sent out an update for the mini yarn cozy, the knitted version, and extended the length. I also added contrast I-cord instructions to all of them. So that's the 50-gram size. I've already knit quite a bit of this sock, and you can tell it's still just holding on to everything perfectly. And then you can do, you know, self-striping and all of that with this one too. Now the very newest yarn cozy collection, oh my gosh, I'm losing my words now, is the mini crochet ones. And I'm so excited about these. They're so fun. This pattern just came out yesterday. Actually released it a little early on Sunday. And where did it go? Here we go. This is the crochet mini yarn cozy. They're so much fun to make. They're so quick because they're so little and they don't take a ton of yarn. So let me show you. This one is the 20-gram ribbed version. How cute is that? With little I-cord, contrast I-cord. Yeah, this barely uses any yarn. It's so much fun. Ooh, maybe if you are not super into I-cord, you can start with one of the small versions so you don't have a lot of I-cord to go. This is not working well. Oh my goodness. This maybe is not gonna make it through a few more cozies. I should have wound up more yarn. Oh boy, this guy is gonna have to get rewound. Now, if you are taking your cakes out of the cozies a couple of times during your project, you're gonna be fine. This one has probably been in and out of cozies 50 times, so that's why it's having a hard time. Here's the plain and simple one. Just a classic single crochet. Look at that. So cute. I love these guys. They're so much fun. Okay, let's leave that one alone and look at the 50-gram one. So this is a little less than 50 grams, of course, since I've already worked the sock, but, oh, I was gonna say, I have a full cake. Here's the full cake. But anyway, there's the 50-gram one with a contrast. And then, let's use this one, the 50-gram ribbed. Get that in there. I kind of put them on like this. Get my hand in there, boom. And the rib. So much fun. And again, full pattern tutorial with the crochet versions. Okay, I think I talked enough about these. If you have any specific questions about any of the patterns, let me know. So you can grab the knitted versions together as a bundle, so the 100 gram, 50 gram, 20 gram size, and you will save half off of one of the patterns. So it's $9 for the bundle or $6 for the individual patterns. Same with the crochet, you can get them, the two crochet patterns together, which is actually 3 sizes and many different versions, 100 gram, 50 gram, 20 gram as a bundle. Or if you're a knitter and a crocheter and you want all the yarn cozies, you can get them all together for $15. That's 4 patterns for $15, so you save like $2.25 per pattern. So save a lot of money if you get them all together. So anytime you click into any of these patterns in Ravelry, it should show you at the top like available at under 11 stitches, which is just a single pattern, available as this bundle, available as this bundle, and you can click into them. And then I also put it in the description so you like cannot miss it. He is so happy to be home, so relaxed. He's such a good boy. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions, and then I want to show you the prizes for the Cozies-along, and of course answer any other questions that you have. How are we on time? Oh, we're doing great. Gosh, another 15 minutes. Okay, let's see. I see a lot of people, I have a lot of my most recent testers here from the mini crochet yarn cozy, and I see that you're answering questions, so thank you so much for being here. You're the best. Nancy said I'm knitting quadrophenia and using cozies for the yarn cakes. That's so fun. So you're using your hand wound cakes with a Nasta pin and they're working for the cozies. So that's good to know. I'm happy to hear that. Helen said I bought the cozy pattern, but I can't find it. Do you remember if you bought it on Ravelry? If you did, it's probably in your pattern library. So if you go on Ravelry to My Notebook and then to Library, you should be able to find it. But if you can't, and this goes for anyone, because sometimes with Ravelry, you buy the pattern and then it doesn't go to your library immediately. I don't know. Sometimes Ravelry is weird. I think at least once a month somebody reaches out to me and says the same thing. Like, I bought the pattern, I can't find it anywhere. Sometimes it shows up the next day for them before I'm able to email them, and sometimes I just need to resend it. So Helen, if you can't find it in your library, send me an email, natalie@knittynatty.com, and I will be able to look up your purchase and resend it to you, okay? We will make sure that you get it. Can you do the knit ones in stockinette? I hate ribbing. If you change it to stockinette, it's not gonna have the same cling, so I can't say that you can just change it to stockinette and everything will work. The ribbing serves a purpose there to have a stretch and give and actually hold things together. Okay, I just did my first I-cord bind off and it is too tight. Going to spend the evening redoing it. So a lot of my testers have said that they also have an issue with the I-cord bind off. So I don't know if you're working the knitted or the crocheted version, but in the knitted version, I have something called a stretchy I-cord bind off, where you do an extra yarn over. That yarn over then kind of gets consumed into the stitch and elongates the stitch. So for me, it makes my I-cord bind off stretchier. But for some people, it actually makes their I-cord bind off tighter. So if it's the knitted version that you're doing, I would either try taking out that yarn over completely, that may loosen things up, or going up a hook or needle size can really be helpful. I think for some people when they're doing I-cord, they're just holding things so tight that their tension is tighter than their regular knitting. So if that's the case for you, there's like a great solution is just going up a needle or hook size. Okay, let's see. Where were we? Oh, yay. Somebody said I have a problem when buying patterns on Etsy. They never show up and I always have to reach out to the seller. Yeah, that's another reason why I'm not a huge fan of selling patterns on Etsy. It's just not designed for selling patterns. It's designed for something else and that's okay, but it just doesn't work. Toaster is putting the cozy in Cozies-along. I know, right? He's so cozy right now. We need to give him a little cozy to hold on to. Here you go, buddy. Perfect. Joanne, I just bought and started my first crocheted cozy. Yay, so excited. I've been making knit cozies without the bottom and without the hole in the bottom. Yeah, I've had that question before too. Some people have asked, because the crocheted ones are closed on the bottom because they're started with a magic ring, and the knitted ones are open on the bottom. And so some people have asked, does the hole on the bottom of the knitted cozies serve any purpose? And it doesn't. I mean, I guess for the can ones, it can make it like a little easier to like grab and pull off, but the purpose is so that you don't have to start with a really small number of stitches. It doesn't serve a functional purpose, more of an ease of knitting purpose, so that you can start with, I think, 20 stitches or something like that. I can't remember exactly, and not like 4 stitches, which I don't enjoy. But I know some people don't like that open bottom. So yeah, you could start with a smaller number. That's a good idea. Would you recommend these patterns to brand new knitters? I plan to teach ladies how to knit. Maybe we can start with the cozies. So I wouldn't as a very first thing to knit, because it includes a lot of different techniques. Like, you have to be able to knit a small circumference in the round. You need to be able to increase. You need to be able to work ribbing. You need to be able to read a pattern. I think that's too many things to start with. I think that once you can master knitting and purling with comfortability, I would add in the knitting in the round part. And then I think with assistance, like reading the pattern, then you would be fine. It's not like the hardest part is getting started, I think, and increasing. The rest, I think, is sort of a staggered, techniques. Like, you have a lot of ribbing before you then need to learn how to do an I-cord bind off. So I think it could work as maybe a second project or a third project, but I would caution against using it for a very first project, because I think it's just a lot of skills stacked into one. Joanne asked, what exactly is an I-cord? So an I-cord is a small set of stitches that makes a tube. And it's just this very rounded finished look. If you make an I-cord that is not attached, so all of these I-cords are applied or attached I-cords, meaning that they are set against the knitting or crochet in the perpendicular to the other stitches. Let me get a visual. Actually, let's use this one. I love this neon yarn so much. It's so much fun. So you're knitting in this direction, right? And then you come and do the, oh, that was bad. Hold on, we need something that's not quite as bright. Maybe this one. Okay, so you're knitting in this direction, and then when you do the I-cord, you're actually working in this direction. So perpendicular to the knitting as you apply it. So you have a small set of stitches that you work across the row, and you work one stitch from the I-cord with the cozy together. So it's binding off while also knitting like a tube all the way around. When you work an I-cord alone, it's just this like skinny tube. It is, some people, I think it gets a bad reputation because it takes longer. Like, if you're binding off with I-cord, you may have to knit 4 stitches for every 1 stitch you bind off. And so obviously that takes a lot longer, but it is so beautiful. Like, it is one of the most simple, clean looks to a pattern. And I think for these, it just serves as like that, instead of having a raw edge, it just looks so good. And so if you've never done it before, this is a great time to learn the I-cord bind off. I've got video tutorials on the knit and crochet I-cord bind off public here on Knitty Natty. It's not, you don't have to purchase the pattern to get it, so you could even practice it on something if you wanted to before purchasing a pattern. It's so great. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see a couple. Okay, great. If I missed your question, please just ask again. I want to be able to share these prizes. So we have a couple of 3 yarn dyers who have generously donated some prizes for the Cozies-along. They were so great and shipped them to me here so quickly in New York. And if you win a prize, which I will be drawing those on Friday, June 2nd, so 2 days after the make-along ends, then you will be getting them from me. I'm gonna be shipping them out. So all of these prizes are available internationally. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can enter to win these prizes. And one of these prizes is gonna go towards, actually, I might do 2 prizes on Instagram and 2 prizes on the finished, or maybe I'll do 1 on Instagram and 3 prizes for the finished form. I haven't quite decided yet, so TBD, but I have 4 prizes. So 4 people will be winning prizes from this Cozy Along. And again, you can enter by using the hashtag Cozies2023 on an Instagram post, or by submitting a finished cozy to the Google form. So I have 2 of our yarn dyers are here. I can show them to you physically. One, I'm gonna show you a picture, and then as soon as I get it, I'll show it on the podcast. Okay, so our first person, oh, let me pull these up really quickly. Okay, so our first prize donation is from Frogget Yarns, and I have all these shops linked in the description down below. If you see something you like, please go support these small businesses. Toaster, can you stop licking? You probably can't hear him because I've got my microphone on, actually. Okay, so Frogget Yarns is a team, 2 people, Tasha and Brian, a couple that dyes together, and they are out of Wellsville, Pennsylvania, which is fun because they're not super far from me. And they are really fun. I'm reading my notes here. They're a husband and wife team. They dye together in their home studio, which I think is really, really cute. They actually have a mobile yarn truck, and they travel to different festivals and events. If you are going to Maryland Sheep and Wool, they are going to be there at Yarn Centric on May 5th. So please go check them out and support them. They also develop a lot of fade sets. They have vibrant colors, speckles, and 2 of their newest products, they have 2 non-superwash bases, which I think is not always like the norm with a hand-dyed yarn company. So if you're somebody who likes non-superwash, they have a gray Shetland wool fingering weight and a really squishy soft 50/50 that's Rambouillet and Coriadel in a DK weight. So again, Frogget Yarn shop is going to be linked down below. They have donated 2 prizes for us, so let me grab them so I can show them to you. So the first one is a set of 2 50-gram skeins, which would be so fun to do either a pair of socks, or you could do a few different cozies. These 2 colors go together so beautifully. It's 100 grams, so you could definitely do a lot of different things with it. So 2 50-gram skeins. This is their frog legs base, 75-25, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I don't think I get the focus that I do on my camera when I'm going live here on my phone, so I apologize. And these are Solstice and Winter's Night. So if you like this and you don't want to wait for prize, make sure to go to Frogget Yarns. So pretty. I love this too because I wear a women's 8 shoe, and if I do a pair of socks with like some of my other scraps for the cuff, heel, and toe, I can use a 50-gram and still get a really tall sock. Like a 50-gram is my main color. So I know Toaster is just getting comfy, isn't he? Now he's all tucked in, isn't he so cute? I'm gonna make him into a little dumpling because he's cold. You cold, buddy? Here you go. Okay, little dumpling. We're gonna go out in about 10 minutes, buddy. Maybe less. Okay, so that's the first prize from Frogget Yarns. And then we have one more beautiful prize from them. This one is a really cool base. It's 50% superwash merino and 50% cotton. So if you're somebody who like doesn't love cotton, which I have like a kind of, you know, cotton can be really heavy, really shiny, or really pilly. Having a 50% wool in there really gives it a lovely like texture and blend. It's so great for warm weather knits. Wool has some of the best properties. I think, you know, having even like a lot of wool is great, but if you want something in between, this is such a great base. This is their wool cotton fingering base, 50% superwash merino, 50% cotton. It's a fingering weight, 436 yards, and this color is called Fresh Lilacs, and it's so beautiful. It's really pretty. I love that. So those are our 2 prizes. They're going to go to separate people from Frogget Yarn. So thank you to Tasha and Brian for donating these prizes. Okay, our next one is from Crafted by the Fates, who is also in Pennsylvania in Harrisburg. And this is from Naomi. And Naomi is a really cool person. Naomi actually just tested the mini crochet yarn cozy for me as well. I actually think that she was on here earlier, so if you're still here, say hi. But Naomi is really cool. As a neurodivergent maker and creator, this is her words, as a neurodivergent maker and creator, I really needed a way to share my current hyperfixations. So I created my business to do exactly that. She started out with specializing in mini skeins, but has now started to expand to full skeins and bases. Crafted by the Fates, Naomi's website is down below, her Etsy store. So definitely go and check that out. Her newest collection is based on Courage the Cowardly Dog, which is so fun because this was a show that was it on Nickelodeon, I think, when we were growing up. I don't know how old Naomi is, but I'm assuming we're close to the same age. And this was a show that was on when I was growing up. So this is from the Courage the Cowardly Dog collection. And it is a fingering weight 75-25 superwash merino. And this is called her Impressionist base. It is a sock base. And the colorway is called The Things I Do for Love. It's a really beautiful pink with some, it looks like black speckles or maybe like a deep purple. It's really pretty and really soft. That's really nice. Cartoon Network, thank you. Oh my gosh, Cartoon Network, is that even still around? Here's the Crafted by the Fates logo. And again, all these shops are going to be linked down below. Things I Do for Love. That one's really, really pretty. So all the prizes are going to be open internationally. So whether you post on Instagram or post to the finished object, submit your form on the finished object thing, you're going to be able to get one of these, have the chance to get one of these prizes. Okay, I have one more shop that is going to be donating a prize, but it is on its way to me here in New York. Again, this is my doing because I was very like last minute and going, oh my gosh, I need prizes. And these 3 people like came up, stepped up to the plate, and they were so fast and sent everything to me, but just one didn't get here on time. But I'm going to show you a picture and I will show you the yarn in the next podcast once it's here. Maybe it'll be here for this week's podcast. Cross my fingers. Okay, so the last contributor is Heather. Hold on, let me pull up the photo. Okay, so Heather is out of Texas, in Allen, Texas, and her shop is Craft Nut Yarns. So Heather has been dyeing for about 2 years now. She loves to dye tonals and speckled yarns as well as variegated, and she just had a shop anniversary and will have some new colorways coming soon. And she also does custom orders. So I feel like it's always good to know which dyers are able to do that, because if you find a color that you really love and you want to make something big like a sweater or a blanket or a shawl, being able to custom order enough for your project is really great, because then you can get more consistency in things. This stunning color is also a fingering weight. It is called Rydell High, which is, I'm guessing must be from Greece. Oh man, it's too small. Hold on, let me see if I can make this bigger. It's a 75/25 superwash merino nylon. It's my favorite. Okay, hold on. How do I make this like way bigger? Why is it so small? Let me download it. Maybe that will help. And then I can blow it up big. Hold on, guys. Yay. Okay, here we go. So it's going to look a little pixelated. Obviously, we're going through two screens here. But it is a, oh wow, really reflective. Great, Natalie. We can see that so well. Hold on. Okay, so you can't really see it, but it is a bright fuchsia pink. It is a tonal. It's called Rydell High. And as soon as I have it in my little hands, I'm going to show it properly on the podcast. I promise. It's really, really gorgeous. So thank you to those three shops. Again, they're all linked down below. Frogget Yarns, Crafted by the Fates, and Craft Nut Yarns are all of our prize donations for the Cozy Along. So very excited and so grateful to all of you. Okay, we are going to have one more event for the Cozy Along, and that's going to be kind of our closing out. It's going to be a live on Instagram on Friday, June 2nd, same time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. This one is going to be more of just a, closing things out, ending the make-along, celebrating everything that you were able to knit and crochet during the make-along, but it's also where I'm going to share all of the prizes. So again, the details are in the description box below, the form that you can fill out if you finish any cozies to get prizes, but that's going to close. You need to be finished by Wednesday, May 31st, so the end of May. And then the form will close on June 1st at noon. And then I will get all the prizes together and then announce them on Friday, June 2nd. So I want to have it all, quick and rounded out and done by then. So yeah, simple, easy, fun. Okay, we're gonna wrap up here in just a moment, but I do want to just check in and see if there were any more questions about the Cozy Along, about the cozy patterns, about our beautiful yarn prizes. So give you a second to put those in. I've really enjoyed this hour. It always goes by so fast. It was so much fun to chat with you. You know what? I'm not supposed to drink coffee after noon. That's what my therapist said for anxiety. I'm not supposed to drink too much coffee and stop drinking it before noon. Ugh. I guess it's 1 o'clock now, actually. I need to be faster at drinking my coffee then. Okay, let's see if there's any questions. Oh yeah, you're here, Naomi. Okay. My kids love Courage. Oh my gosh. You should definitely get some of this Courage, the Cowardly Dog yarn. It's so fun. I forgot about all those shows from Cartoon Network. They were wild, weren't they? They were like pretty crazy. That's so funny. I should take the same coffee limit advice. It legit helps so much. Like I started drinking less coffee, but I find that if I have like a latte in the afternoon on like a fun day, like if we're on the weekend or something, then I'm good. But it's like during the workday when I need to focus and like not let like the overwhelm of things get to me, it really helps a lot to limit the caffeine. It also kind of stinks, but it's worth it. My email address is natalie@knittynatty.com. Yeah, let me know, Helen, because I know you're looking for your pattern. I will tell you that there's a chance I don't get to my emails until tomorrow, but I'll try to get to yours so you can get that pattern because I know you want to get started. I have a lot of emails to catch up on after the wedding weekend and traveling and everything, so just gotta be transparent there. Okay, Anna said, I'm gonna try for 1 cozy per week. Oh, that's a great idea. You know what? I might try to do something similar to that. I have so many cozies. What I need to do is like, I find that I use my 100-gram ones a ton, and so I often find that I run out of 100-gram ones, especially if I have multiple projects going and they're all there. So I'm kind of needing to identify the gaps in my cozy collection. I have plenty of 20-gram ones. I don't think I need any more of those, but I do want to make more 50-gram sets. So where did that just go? My stuff. Oh, I've taken them both off. So I made, with the 50-gram update, making it a little longer, I made this set. So I put a contrast I-cord on one of them. And other than that, they're just plain and simple, just the ribby ones. And so now if I do a pair of socks, I have two, matching cozies that I can use. I know some people like to make the two 50-gram ones and one 20-gram one that all match. So again, if they're doing socks, they can split their skein, and then if they have a contrast one, they can have a little 20-gram one. Since Sock Week is coming up in July, I think it would be fun to have a lot of these like ready to go. So maybe I will concentrate on making more 50-gram, because honestly, these first ones that I made are just a little too short. Like, see the difference between the original and the new updated version? It's about 1/2 inch, and it makes all of the difference in the world. So I really try to use my patterns and make updates to them when I'm realizing that like something's not quite working right. So yeah, maybe I'll start working on making another set for socks. That will be really fun. And they don't use much yarn at all. That's really, really great. Okay, can you explain how to buy all the cozy patterns together? So you can buy all the yarn cozy patterns together, and you can buy all the beverage cozy patterns together, but not all of them together. And I will share the link. Which one are you looking for? The way that you do it is if you go on Ravelry to any of the pattern pages. Let me see, I know it was really reflective before. So I'm on Ravelry, right? And I'm on one of the pattern pages. It says published in here at the top. See right here? And there is you can click on these bundles. So the one that has all the knit and crochet ones together is called the Yarn Cozy Bundle Combo. And the one that is just the crochet pattern says Yarn Cozy Bundle Crochet or Yarn Cozy Bundle Knit. And you can click into those. But if you let me know which one, I can share the link with you right now. Okay, excuse me. I want to do at least 4 yarn cozies, but I set aside enough yarn for about 10. I know, they don't take much, so you can really get a lot out of it. Let's see. You found it! Yay, perfect. Yeah, if you already have the knit ones, then there's a crochet bundle that you can get for $9. Let's see. You finished another cozy during the live. Yay, good job. Do you measure the length for ribbing stretched or how it lays while knitting it? How it lays while knitting it, not stretched. Yes, laying flat. Yeah, I probably should put that in there. I know exactly what you mean though, because it's hard to know in a pattern. But yeah, so they're talking about like in these rib cozies. I mean, these are kind of stretched out because I've used them a lot. But yeah, the measurement is flat for those. Totally getting the courage yarn. Yay! I love that. Okay, I'm not seeing many more questions pop in, but if you are watching this later and want to ask me a question, you can leave a comment or you can send me an email. Email is always the best place to reach me because it's very easy for me to track that I've answered you and all of that, whereas everything else gets a little bit jumbled. So Sophia asked, how long do you think it takes to make one of the 100-gram cozies? Probably 6 to 8 hours. So you could do it in a day if you do a lot of knitting, or you could do it over like 3 days if you have some evening knitting. They're pretty quick, definitely. I think same for the crochet ones. I think for me, the crochet ones were slower because I'm not a big crocheter, but they got faster, like the more that I made. Yeah, definitely less knitting than a sock, for sure. It's not as big as a sock. Can you do a fully knit I-cord on the crochet cozy? Okay, Ray, interesting question. I think so. I think one of my testers did that on their second version after they tried the crochet one and they're like, wait, I can knit, I don't need to do this. So I think you might need a crochet hook to start and get all your stitches you need, and then I think you can just switch over. So I would say yes. I do not include instructions on how to do it. I haven't tried it myself, so I may not be able to help you, but yes, if you know how to do a knitted applied I-cord, then I think you can do it. Yeah, I think you'll be able to do it. You'll kind of have to like pick up crochet stitches as you go, but that should be pretty easy. Do you start the cozy with double pointed needles? It depends on what your favorite technique is. I use magic loop for the entire thing, and magic loop is where you have one long circular needle that's folded in half. I find it easiest to do magic loop, but double pointed needles also works great. Can you make candle cozies the same way? I'm sure you could. Yeah, I'm sure you definitely could. Once you're comfortable making the cozies, you can make like small tweaks and adjustments to the patterns if you want to. Like somebody was talking about extending one of the beverage cozies for a water bottle. Yeah, you could probably do that. Anything that's kind of the same shape, I would say. Definitely. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. This was so much fun. We have another 29 days of cozy making to go, so make sure to keep tagging me when you're posting on Instagram so that I can reshare stuff and just so I can see it, because it's really fun to see all the creative ways you are making these cozies. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on Thursday for a podcast. Bye, everyone. Have a good day. Say bye, Toaster.